Hey everyone, welcome back to Right Media Group Chronicles, the podcast where we talk with agency founders and creative leaders who are reshaping how businesses grow. We dive into the real stories behind successful agencies, the wins, the lessons, and everything in between, so you can build smarter and grow faster. Today's guest is Alex Lloro, founder and managing director of All Marketing Services. He is known for helping businesses turn paid advertising and CRO into profitable, predictable revenue using data driven strategy and behavioral psychology. Alex, it is great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
We both have the podcast set up ready, so shall we begin?
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Would you mind to kick things off with your story? All Marketing Services, it's an agency you founded. What really motivated you to start your own agency?
Sure. So, All Marketing Services is my second agency. I used to
Uh-huh.
run one in Spain from 2008 to 2014, more or less. But when I moved to the US, I sold that company. I was working for a company here in the US for a year and a half, more or less. And I quit to start a new company. It was a startup in the education space. It didn't work well. So when I shut down that company, said, okay, what I do really good is marketing. Let's start a marketing agency here. So by the end of 2017, I started with the idea of All Marketing Services, and we've been there since then.
Yeah, awesome. And I think we discussed this previously in our little chat as well. Is the Spanish market is not so willing to invest into business and marketing specifically, right? And do you see that difference between where you are right now, USA, and Spain?
Well, I don't stay in contact with the Spanish clients, so I'm not sure if it has changed. But yeah, 15 years ago, I can tell you that there was a huge difference. Managing a big budget was limited to huge companies. Here in the US, small companies know that they have to spend a lot of money on marketing to make money. So yes, that's in Spain, in my experience, marketing was seen as unspent and not as an investment in the company. So
And
yes,
that's
the
a huge
mentality is
gap
completely
there. Yeah.
different.
And what is your day-to-day like now in All Marketing Services? What is it that you do for the business? Because I noticed there's really two stages a business owner is at. They're either delivering for the business, which sometimes they're happy to do, or they are on the business as a founder and just making sure things go smoothly.
Well, a little bit of both, working in the business and on the business at the same time. So I manage all the business development, but usually all the client interactions as well. So I supervise the accounts and check that everything is working smoothly.
Are you a founder facing to the clients as well, or do you
Yes,
have
yes,
some?
yes.
But great, yeah. You know what? I'm even thinking myself, like I wouldn't want to remove that aspect because you just feel so passionate. But I guess after a while, it drives you away from focusing on that business growth, which is also very important.
Yes, for sure. And being the face behind of the client is very important because you create that trust relationship. Our retention goes from probably 36 to 39 months. We have clients that
Wow.
have been with us since we started the agency. So that's because we establish a really good relationship when they trust us and they trust me because I'm the face that they are used to see. So they don't like if that change and they start talking to another person. So that's why I prefer to manage being the face of the company.
And is there some sort of industry that you like to serve right now, or who is it that is your client?
Well, we serve any service-based company that needs leads.
Mhm.
Lately, law firms are probably 70% of our revenue at the moment. But we work with other industries as well, medical devices, healthcare, mortgage brokers, waste management, home services. So any
Wow.
company that needs leads is a good option for us because one of the things that I love the most is learning about the business, our clients' businesses. So I'm open to work with different industries, not only just focusing on law firms or even more niching down on personal injury, because you lose your creativity and you try to replicate what you are doing for one client to the next one.
Mm.
So I love to work with different industries and different clients.
Yeah, it just opens that creativity in your mind, right?
Exactly.
So what sort of services do you often deliver for your clients? Is it because by the name it's like all marketing services, but I think we discussed that you have now sort of niched down to specific services.
Yes. So all marketing services, all is also a pun with my name, Alex Lloro, ALL. But yes, we started as a boutique digital marketing agency. But in the since COVID, I realized that what we do the best is online advertising and conversion rate optimization. So now more than 90% of our income comes from those areas. And we don't offer SEO or other services as we used to. If a client comes to us and says, "Hey, Alex, we need someone to manage our SEO as well, not only the advertising, but also SEO, we will do it. But if a client wants only SEO services, we will refer that client to a company that can focus only on that aspect and can bring more value."
Makes sense. And what would you say right now is working really well, specifically for your agency and for your clients?
Well, advertising is the simplest way to get clients in the short term. And we are seeing that many clients have seen a decline on organic leads in the last couple of years. First, Google introduced those AI briefings at the beginning of the search, feature snippets. So companies in the last few years are getting less clicks. And now, with all LLMs like OpenAI, ChatGPT, Copilot, Google has lost probably around 20% of market share. And that's also a problem for people relying on SEO only. So now, if you are not on the top of Google with ads, it's complicated to get a click and get a lead from there.
I see. That's an interesting subject you're discussing that right now because I was specifically wanting to ask you what is the sort of trends you see right now. And that's a big one, right?
Yes, for sure. And it's going to be even more challenging in the moment that OpenAI, that last week mentioned that they are delaying adding ads to the chat. But at some moment, LLMs will need to add advertising. Right
That's going to
now,
be an
they are well
interesting world.
funded. Their North Star is growth at the moment.
Yes.
But there will be a moment where investors won't want to add more money to the company. So they will need to generate their own money. And the only way to do that is with advertising or paid subscriptions. So for those using the free version of ChatGPT or Copilot, those companies need to include advertising. So the challenge right now is how advertising is going to be integrated in the LLMs, because the traditional or what we are used to right now on search engines, the ad on the top is not going to work. So let's see how they try to, because people will see that invasive because they are not used to.
Yes. I was just going to say that.
Yes, exactly. So it's a challenge on how to include advertising on those ChatGPT conversations. So that's my take on this, is that OpenAI is waiting for Google to do it because Google needs the money right now. 80% of Google's revenue last year comes from advertising, and they are losing market share. They are trying to palliate that, inflating prices on clicks. So we've seen a huge increase on the cost per click in the last year and a half. But there will be a moment that campaigns won't be profitable if they continue inflating prices. So the market share that they are missing with Google, with the search engine, they will try to capture that with Gemini. And they will need to include ads on Gemini. So my take is that OpenAI is waiting for Google to move the needle because they need the advertising income. While OpenAI right now is well funded and can survive and focusing only on growth and not including ads.
That's an interesting opinion there and very realistic at the same time. OpenAI didn't have like a foundation, did they? They just started. Obviously, they had investors, which is great. It's funding them, but Google had a money pot they could utilize because of all the money they're obviously saved from ads. But as you mentioned, now they're also starting to lose some money. In my opinion, I think that Google is in a better position than OpenAI
If I understand correctly, you say that Google is in a better position than OpenAI.
because of the
Is that right?
foundation they have. Yeah, please. I love a good discussion.
Yes, I think that OpenAI is in a better position because Google is a public company and they need to present results at the end of the year. And a decline on income, on revenue, ads is 82% on 2024, if I remember correctly. So if that drops to 70 to 65, as the market share is dropping, they have a problem. OpenAI, they are spending millions and millions every month. And the investors, private investors, they don't care. They want growth. They want to achieve a market share of reaching 200, 300, 500 million people using the tool. So they have more margin, while Google, being a public trade company, they need results right now.
Because they have something to compare to from the previous year. And like you said, they're now losing money, which they have to be
Mhm.
accountable as a huge, huge business. OpenAI, all they focus on pretty much is the LLM and making it
Exactly.
better. And they
Yeah, and
have
the
one
only
thing,
metric that matters for
targeted
them,
approach.
yeah, and the only metric is growth. Is the only one that they care at this moment.
I think with regards to AI and when they utilize the ads, it's very similar when you think the transition Facebook had and YouTube had. When the platform became such a huge necessity and people are always going to it, it's like when the ads are not going to bother the consumer because what they want to get to is so important. I think that's the tipping point when they need to switch to ads personally, because that's how it happened for Facebook and YouTube, end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. They spend millions and millions losing every year while they were getting traction and getting millions of users. But there is a moment that they need to monetize those users. And
Uh-huh.
that's when they start including ads to make money from that traffic.
I'm very looking forward to how they will introduce that advertising, as I'm sure you are as well.
Yes, because it will have a huge impact on our agency. Yes, we are expecting how they do it.
Yeah. So we talked about what's working quite well for your agency right now. What would you say has been quite a challenge or frustrating inside the agency?
Well, that Google is inflating prices lately. So it's having an impact on our clients and the cost per acquisition. So make them understand that it's not a problem of managing the account, but of Google being greedy and wanting to make more money.
So
Because
they are
yes,
inflating the prices right now, Google.
yes, and we see WordStream and many other companies launches every year a benchmark of cost per acquisition and cost per click on different industries. And in the last years, we are seeing a huge increase. So that is translate also on a higher cost per acquisition for our clients.
And have you noticed the client expectations change throughout the years? You have been in the marketing space for about 25 years, which is a very long time.
Mhm.
So I understand it's now more difficult to deliver the results as you just explained. Google is inflating the prices. But what about client expectations?
Well, it has changed because right now people has more knowledge about marketing, about digital marketing.
Yeah.
So they expect more, or they read an article on LinkedIn and they tell you, hey, Alex, I just read that if you use PMAX campaigns, and you have to explain, well, PMAX is not a good idea for you because this, and this. So it's a little bit more challenging. People
Yeah,
trying
I
to,
can see
hey,
that.
why not? We are not using this. So trying to explain why we are not using that and instead we are doing something different. Yeah, but this guy that has millions of followers says, yeah, okay.
Yeah, now suddenly everyone's an expert. That's a trend because you have all this information available to you.
Yes, and another challenge is those AI tools that promise that they are going to get you more clients and that they will automate your advertising campaigns, so no human interaction is needed. So yes, some people come to us saying, "Hey, why should I pay your retainer if I can pay 500, $1,000 for this tool, and they will do that completely autonomous?" Like, okay, you can try that. It's the same as a few years ago when people started outsourcing marketing to companies in India, in the Philippines, to reduce the cost. And after a few months, they came back saying, "Hey, Alex, we had a really bad experience. Let's talk again." And so now we are seeing that with AI tools. Some people believe that AI tools can do everything. So they rely on that until they see a drop in the number of clients they sign in a monthly basis, and they call you back.
And what would you say is driving clients to you right now? What sort of channel has worked best
Well, for us, it's advertising. We are good at running
for
advertising, so
yourself as
we
well?
run
Yeah.
ads for our agency as well.
Oh, no, no, that's great. That's awesome. I mean, you're the expert in that, so why not utilize it, right?
Exactly.
You have quite a few podcasts you're doing as well, which, getting yourself out there, I always applaud that. Do you believe in this educational content and building up your own personal brand as being significant right now?
Yes, of course. And we do that as well. I try to be active on LinkedIn. We have some automations, but we try to make it different that most people is doing outreach on LinkedIn nowadays. Those annoying messages and series of 6, 7 messages where they are trying asking for a meeting. Hey, do you have time next week? Alex, let's do this. Let's talk on Monday. Why? So our approach is a little bit different. We try to bring value to the table. So we share content that is relevant for them. We don't ask for a meeting. So we try to position myself as the face of the agency, as a thought leader. If they are interested, maybe they don't have the need right now, but in a few months we'll say, okay, these guys share really interesting content with us. I'm going to talk to them. So it's more a long-term investment and not just trying to get meetings in the next week.
And is there anything that you tried in the filling up the pipeline process that you would say no longer works?
Well, that call out read, we used to run
Always a tough
massive
one.
email campaigns. And right now we try to limit that because they are not efficient anymore. Because most people don't read the messages because they receive 40, 50, 100 emails a day. Email is one of the channels that we are not using much right now.
I think it's you and a lot of agencies actually, I have to say, because it's a tough one, to stand out in a cold outreach. It's like you test everything and you feel like it's just helpless. And it's like, how can you differentiate?
Yeah, and even if you have a great deliverability, people don't open the emails because they receive so much that those that are from someone that they don't know, they don't open those emails or
Yeah,
they
they get
don't
left
read
in the
them.
dust.
Before, maybe you needed 1,000 emails to close a meeting. Right now, you need 10,000, 12,000, even more than that.
Wow, yeah, huge quantities. So, talking a little bit about AI, obviously there is disadvantages to having it. Like you said, you have that longer sales process with the prospect because they're like, "Oh, I know this tool; it's cheaper than you are." But there's also positivities, right? Like anything. Is AI something that you are looking to utilize to make yourself a little bit more efficient as well internally?
Of course, we use AI each and every day.
Hmm.
What we don't do is relying only on AI to create the campaigns, to create the ads, the ad copy, the landing page copy. We don't do that because right now, most landing pages look the same design, same headers. AI is good. It simplifies processes. For a small business where you are a solo consultant, it's okay. You can use that. But for companies, you take a look at personal injury, car accident attorneys. And most of the headers are always the same. No fees if you don't win. X million recover. It's always the three same sentences, just the order change on the landing
Wow.
pages. You need to differentiate yourself from massive AI content creation.
Hmm.
If not, if you look average, your results are going to be average. So you need to position yourself in a different way that your competitors are doing. Some people say, no, but because it's working, they are doing that because it's working. So we have to do the same. It's like, okay, if you want to be average, it's okay, you can do the same. If you want to be the number one option when someone looks on Google, you have to be different.
You and your team is the experts and has been doing it for years and years. So you know the fundamentals that you need to be looking for in good copy, for example, right? When you're brainstorming. If you just pick up the first thing from AI and you utilize it, you will still be average. It's when you take that idea, but you make it better because you have that knowledge, which makes it so much more powerful.
Yes, and in sales and in online advertising, psychology is very important. An AI engine, an LLM, is not human to try to add those emotions. Yes, you will tell the AI, hey, these are the pain points on this industry. Create some ads that focus on those pain points. Okay, it's a good approach, but it's going to sound robotic because the answer is focusing on the pain point and not on the person that has that problem.
You
So
talked a
that's
little bit about
no, no, no.
talked a bit about psychology, and I want to really ask you: is there any sort of steps that you take in order to make sure it's a good campaign? What is the psychology there?
Well, it's more focusing on the person and not on the problem.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you are solving a problem, but there is a person that has that problem. So you have to focus on what that person is thinking, and you have to get to the feelings of that person, not on the problem.
Hmm.
And that AI is not good with that. So that's why we use AI to create maybe a template, something where we start iterating, but in the end, is the human interaction and adding that human connection what really works.
Like how does the copy get directed with the psychology and the feelings? Is it like you're directly speaking to them?
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
How they are feeling, why they are frustrated, and not just, okay, your cost per acquisition is high. Yes, but how that makes you feel, and what if your cost per acquisition was much better? So playing with those emotions, you create a connection. And in the ad is just a 10-second thing. You look on Google, I need a mortgage, a new mortgage. So why should I contact this company and not the next one on the ad? There are
Yeah.
four options. Which one I choose? Is
Uh-huh.
something that in less than 10 seconds, you're choosing one of those. So you have to call the attention in just one line because they don't read much of the ad.
That's a difficult job you have.
Mhm.
It's not always easy. Is there an example campaign or anything that you are able to disclose here without revealing too much of?
Not just focusing on the problem. So with attorneys, for example, with personal injury, just asking injured in a car accident in the first is like, okay, I'm injured. So yes, I need these guys.
Hmm.
Explain me. Okay, I'm injured. Explain me why. I'm not injured. Okay, maybe this ad is not for me. So they don't click. They don't submit a lead that our clients don't need because that person wasn't
Yeah,
injured.
because you're wasting time end of the day with somebody who's
Exactly.
not qualified.
So
Yeah.
we are reducing the number of wasted leads that they don't need. So we are saving them money on clicks. We are saving them money on a bigger intake team to manage those number of leads that are not relevant for their business.
Hmm.
So it's
No.
not just a matter of number of leads. It's a matter of quality of those leads. So focusing on the person that has a problem that my client can solve is huge. And the Google's approach nowadays is completely different. Google wants volume because that means more clicks and more money for them.
Mhm.
So our
I see. I see. It's starting to add up now.
so our role is saying, okay, don't care about those low quality leads that Google wants to send you. Let's focus on those quality leads that are going to convert. So when we start working with a new client that has been working or doing things with Google reps and applying all the changes that a Google rep tells the client to apply, and they start working with us, they see a drop in the number of leads every month, the number of clients they are signing, goes to the roof.
End of the day, that's the number that's most important, right?
The only KPI that is relevant for a client is revenue and profitability.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter cost per click, it doesn't matter click-through rate, it doesn't matter the number of leads. It's just revenue and profits.
You are expert in paid advertising, clearly, because you can deliver leads and you can do your job amazingly. But I hear this often where you don't really know what's happening after you deliver those leads. And sometimes, even though you are sending like golden leads that can convert, because the sales team, let's say, is new, they're not converting them to the client. So what would be your personal experience in this process? And is there anything you do to manage this sort of better to help that client to close those sales potentially?
Well, sometimes we need to not only running the campaigns, but work with their sales team, with their intake team, with attorneys, because sometimes good leads get lost because they don't know how to manage those leads,
Yes,
because the
yeah.
process they have is not good. So sometimes we need to work with them on the operational part of the business and not only on the lead generation part.
And that's very, very important because you want to make sure those two are connected, not like two separate departments, because they need to work together to make that end process so much more profitable.
Yes, exactly. If there is a disconnection between marketing and sales or intake, you are lost because you can be sending great leads and they don't convert because there is a problem on the process on the sales or on the intake team, or because there is a miscommunication between both sides. We are sending leads that are not relevant for them. So we are spending the money of our client running ads and bringing leads that are not relevant. We are wasting the sales team time because that miscommunication. So yes, marketing and sales go hand by.
Hmm. So, Alex, tell me what is the plan for all marketing services next year? We only have a few weeks left of 2025. Do you have any goals or aspirations for your agency?
Well, right now we are more focusing on growing steady, step by step, not having big goals for next year, double our size, because we focus on the quality of our services. So huge growth, we couldn't maintain that quality. So I'd rather go step by step than trying to double the size of the agency like many people is trying to do nowadays, because volume gets more advantages, and it might, but in my opinion the way we work, the quality of our work is the most important thing. So if we try to bring 10 new members to the team in 6 months, it's not going to work. So it's
Yeah,
better to
you
bring
need to
just
be
two
smart
three.
about growth.
Yeah, exactly.
You want growth, but you want that steady, manageable growth. So, if you had a magic wand to fix one thing, either internal processes or all throughout your agency business model, what would it be?
Well, qualifying leads is always a challenge, and the sales process trying to make it shorter than it is. But well,
Oh, yes, yeah.
some industries has huge long sales cycles.
Mm.
And in our case, because people are trying, and now with AI, okay, we are going to try in-house, we are going to try to do it with AI. So they need some few months to realize it's not working for them. They came back. So if I could shorten that period of time, that would be amazing for us.
If you could give yourself advice when you started your own agency, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, document everything, create detailed SOPs so anyone in your team can follow them and can do the work. That is very, very important to offer a high quality service to our clients.
Alex, and if people wanted to connect with you or find out more about your services, where could they find you?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, very active, Alex Lloro, or our website, allmarketing.co, just CO, no M at the end.
Okay, yeah.
And we offer free consultations so they can connect with us on our website.
For anyone who's interested to connect with Alex, all the links will be down below. Alex is also starting a podcast channel. Alex, who will you be interviewing?
Well, people working in mid-market companies managing lead generation.
Uh-huh, nice.
The podcast is going to focus on lead generation and the
Mm-hmm.
problems that companies have with lead generation and how they try to what they try to do different to beat the systems and to grow their business.
Awesome. So if you're a business who's obviously struggling with those areas or has some insights, I'm sure Alex will be excited to connect with you as well.
Yeah, for sure.